If you are also sick and tired of investing on the wrong systems, on the wrong methods and strategies in growing your business, career, or profession, then para sa'yo ang video na to. My name is Marvin Arlegre. Ako po isang entrepreneur, the creator of High Value Influence, and also a certified coach, speaker, trainer, and teacher of the John Maxwell team. Let's talk about one huge fundamental in building any business, career, or profession. That is trust. Let's talk about establishing, protecting, and leveraging trust. Hango sa libro ni Stephen Covey, The Speed of Trust. In this video, we will extract 7 core lessons that we can apply both individually and also collectively. Number 1 lesson, credibility and behavior. Trust is built on consistent actions and reliability. Another lesson, do you know that there is a direct correlation between trust and the speed and cost of growing our business? Trust enhances efficiency and reduces expenses. We will dig deeper dyan mamaya. Another foundation of trust building is self-trust. It all starts with trusting ourselves. After all, how can you expect na yung mga kliyente mo, mga customers mo will trust you kung ikaw mismo wala kang believe sa iyong kakayahan? Another lesson is trust grows gradually over time. Yes, it can be broken or shattered overnight, but definitely you cannot build it overnight. It requires time. It's incremental growth. Another lesson na talagang nagpabago ng aking perspective about trust building is that it can be restored. Trust can be rebuilt after breaches. Right? Ibang mga tao talagang hinahayaan na lang nila. They move on, they acquire new customers, but those successful people, those successful companies, they do their best to restore the trust that was broken. Another is, you must have a balance between character and competence in order for you to build trust. So beyond individuals, another lesson is that trust extends to broader relationships and groups. So these 7 core lessons, pag ito in-apply mo sa iyong negosyo, sa iyong organization, you will have a much better business or career or profession compared sa iba that all they focus on is on their skills, on their competence, on their talent, on acquiring resources. While these are all important, but they're all useless if you're not seen as a trustworthy provider. That's why maganda itong ituro sa ating mga members or sa ating mga empleyado. Let's begin. Lesson number 1. Trust is a function of what? Trust is a function of credibility and behavior. Napaka-importante. It is not just a feeling, it's a pragmatic, measurable asset. It's built on 2 key pillars, credibility and character. So, character and competence. Credibility is basically kung sino ka, while behavior is kung ano yung ginagawa mo. Okay? Credibility is who you are. Behavior is what you do. So, bakit napaka-importante ito in trust building? Well, it's because we have to understand that they are interlinked. Hindi pwede na mabait kang tao, pero wala ka namang kredibilidad. Or, you're an expert, but untrustworthy ka naman. Wala ka namang ini-exhibit na magandang values or character. So, building trust requires credibility and character. Trust is gained when what? There is credibility is high and your behavior aligns with that credibility. Conversely, trust is lost when there's a gap between your words and your action. Simply put, kung mataas ang credibility mo, mababa naman yung character mo or your behavior, you're not seen as somebody na trustworthy. Vice versa. Walang problema when it comes to your behavior, but the problem is you cannot deliver. Walang track record. Walang results. Number 2 core lesson, trust affects speed and cost. So kung lagi kang nag-i-invest sa mga ibang bagay, but palagi ka namang short, hindi mo naman naabot yung targeted goals mo, it's not a question of competence, maybe it's a question of trust. It's not about kulang ka sa resources, maybe kulang sa confidence ang mga kliyente mo, ang mga partners mo sa inyong kumpanya o sa iyo personally as an entrepreneur or a consultant. Trust is not merely a soft skill, it has a direct and measurable impact, okay, on speed and cost. So to demonstrate, ito lang, napakasimple. Ano ba yung role ng trust sa isang negosyo? Pag mataas ang trust, what happens is, madali ang transaksyon. Faster processes versus dito, mas slower. Sometimes we underestimate the time, money, effort, energy, contacts, and investment not required in finding a client, in securing a deal, in following up. So lahat-lahat ng mga bagay na to requires gastos. So kung hindi ka trustworthy na provider, matagal yung proseso, mas matagal matapos ang deal, mas marami ang ma-entail mo na gastos. Kaya it follows dito sa ating graph, pag mataas ang trust level mo, you have a much reduced cost. Dito naman, you have increased in cost, in risk, and chances of failure. If you have high trust level, there is what? More open na communication. Dito sa kabila, guarded. And there are times, they will also what? Give you misleading information. Kasi nga, hindi ka trustworthy. Nakikita ka nila na predator, somebody that can potentially harm their company. Associating with you means what? Dealing with the devil, right? Pag mataas ang trust, seamless ang collaboration. Your clients will see you as a partner. Sa kabila, limited na collaboration and they will see you as a threat. You see now the importance of trust in business and how it can affect the speed and the cost and literally everything sa iyong negosyo. We can say na ang success and failure ng isang business depends on the trust level ng isang kumpanya or ng isang provider. Moving on. Core lesson number 3. Trust starts with self-trust. Trust. So how do you build trust? It's a combination of having what? Having the integrity, the capabilities. Dapat you demonstrate na alam mo kung anong dapat gawin, alam mo yung sunod. Then, the noble intent, the pure and honest desire, the intention, this is not self-serving. You want to help, you want to serve. And of course, syempre, nothing can beat results. That's core lesson number 3. Number 4, we need to understand that in order for us to build trust, it requires what? It requires time. Trust is incremental. Trust is not what? It's not built overnight. It's a gradual process that unfolds over time. It is earned through consistent behavior and demonstrated credibility. It's also what? Built on small acts of trustworthiness. Kunting bagay lang, kunting pagkakataon, but make no mistake, people are watching, your customers are taking notes. So kung ikaw, nidiscard mo yung mga bagay na yun, over time, they will catch up. Okay? Magbabackfire, magbubumirang. So continue tayo. So everybody at some point, hindi naman tayo kaagad-agad mataas yung ating trust level. When we're starting, syempre, we're not perceived as trustworthy na tao, trustworthy na organization, and we should not be offended. It is what it is. But there's a process to become untrusted to somebody who will be most trusted. That's the goal. So right now, kung merong reason kung bakit hindi mo nakukuha yung goals mo, personally or collectively, is because there is a gap, a huge gap between an untrusted provider and your goal to be the trusted provider. So how do you become a trusted provider to a trusted entrepreneur, consultant, leader, or expert? There is a process. Unang-una, you should demonstrate what? Consistent behavior. Being trustworthy should not be erratic or should not be situational or should not be, you know, something unpredictable, something na pa-weather-weather lang. You must demonstrate at all times that you are trustworthy in all transactions. When you do that, next is you have to demonstrate credibility. Kailangan malaman ng tao na you can deliver. Kasi sa ngayon, ang dami mong kompetensya. If you're not seen as somebody competent, somebody trustworthy, ang karibal mo ay hindi lang yung mga kakilala mong mga providers, but there is Upwork, there is Fiverr. Literally, there are thousands of people competing sa iyong negosyo, sa iyong industry, sa iyong customer, online. That's why you must establish trust and demonstrate credibility. Small acts, incremental trust-building actions. Never underestimate yung mga kunting bagay to demonstrate trust. Never underestimate a single customer kasi maliit lang kanyang order. Right? Ngayon, isang pagkakamali mo lang, they can talk about you and your company online, and that will surely affect yung buying decisions ng yung mga prospects. Ako nga, 300 pesos lang bibilin ko na goods or products sa Lazada. Ang dami ko pang tinitingnan na review. How much more kung premium ang yung product na binibenta or services. So remember, small acts of trust building ng mga effort can compound over time. So when you do that consistently, eventually you'll have that strong foundation of trust. Move on tayo. Let's move on. So, trust, number 5, can be restored. Akala natin when trust is broken, then pabayaan na lang natin. Let's move on. Find another customer, another client, but hindi dapat. Yung mga malalaking kumpanya, yung mga successful na mga consultants, successful na mga entrepreneurs, they think long term. Kung may mga bagay na either intentionally or hindi nila intensyon, pumalpak, at sila yung may kasalanan, they see to it na maibalik yung trust na nawala. So, this is very important. While trust can easily be broken, it can also be restored. The process of restoring trust requires what? Humility, sincerity, and willingness to take responsibility for your actions. It requires a commitment to consistently demonstrate trustworthiness for a long period of time. So in this demonstration, makikita ninyo, the doors can be opened. Restored trust will help you build and rebuild yung mga relationships na dati naapektuhan. Okay? But if you don't do something about it, it will remain a broken relationship, damaged relationship, and low confidence. Again, itong may kasalanan ka, especially related to trust, there will be people that can be your worst nightmare. Kasi they can talk to their friends. Some of them are highly influential. At yung years and years mo na pagod sa pagpapatayo ng yung negosyo or pag-build ng yung pangalan sa industry, just like that. If you don't do something about it, each time meron kang inagrabyado. Kaya I'm no fan of joining mga get-rich-quick schemes because that can really damage your trust and your reputation. Let's move on. Number 6, trust requires both character and competence. In relation to, I think, lesson number 2. A person with high character but low competence may be well-intentioned, but they may not be able to deliver on their promises. So in this demonstration, makikita natin na you can be somebody na well-intentioned. Okay? Well-intentioned. But you may be ineffective. Kasi, the reason for that is you have high character but low ang competence. On the other hand, you are effective but you are untrustworthy. Kasi nga, walang question ang iyong competence. Walang question kung gaano ka kagaling, gaano ka ka-experienced, gaano katibay ang iyong expertise. Okay? But the problem is, in terms of character, very poor ang iyong character. So the goal, therefore, dapat maging aligned siya. Meaning, do your best to have a high character and also high competence so that trust will be earned. The worst is kung mababa na yung karakter mo, mababa pa yung competence mo. Nobody will do business with you. So that's our lesson number 6. All right, so let's move on. Number 7, last but not the least. Trust extends beyond individuals. It is not just about individual relationships, but it also applies to organizations, markets, and societies. So high-trust societies are more stable and prosperous. Bakit? Siyempre, if you are a trusted provider, ito yung mayayari. Marami kang repeat purchase. People will talk about you, will refer you, will recommend you to their friends. Ano yung mga factors that contribute to high trust? So successful companies, they invest in their systems and processes. Why? Because each time may aberya, may delay, hindi natin maiwasan na magulo-gulo ang atong utak. We attribute it to inefficiency. And that in turns lower our trust. The same din yung ating mga customers. Kaya yung mga malalaking company, highly efficient sila in their delivery. So for them, investing in a software or in a system or in any technology that will enhance their trust is no-brainer. You can apply the same approach. Next, accountability. You must be responsible not only for the wins but also for the losses. Not only for the highs but also for the lows. People will respect and trust you more if alam nila na you are accountable. There are people that they will just test the waters. Right? If ikaw ba ay pwede para sa mas malaking deal, mas malaking mga opportunities. So accountability is underrated. These days, isa to sa mga pinaka-premium na qualities ng isang kumpanya at ng isang service provider. Accountability. Another is ethical behavior. You do whatever is right, whatever ang consequence. That is your mantra. If you do that, there's no reason that you will not gain the trust of your clients. Well, in any business, na mataas ang trust rating, 100%, they are transparent. Wala na atang mas simple na barometer, na criteria sa pagiging trustworthy kundi ang transparency. The reason that we don't trust our leaders and our politicians, it's not because they're not skilled, it's because they're not transparent. If you want to be a person with high level of trust, then you must make this your rule. Whatever you do, you should be transparent. So these are the 7 lessons on trust building. So by understanding and applying these 7 lessons, individuals and organizations can cultivate a culture of trust, leading to enhanced performance, stronger relationships, and greater overall success. The speed of trust is a powerful force that can transform both personal and